Hello friends, welcome to lecture number 24. In this lecture, we will study about targeting. In targeting, we will study about evaluating and selecting segments, the concept of targeting, strategies for targeting, and then choosing a right market coverage strategy. So, to start with, evaluating and selecting market segments. In the previous lectures, we have studied about market segmentation. Market segmentation results into segmentation of market or the division of market into parts which are known as segments. We start targeting process by evaluating and selecting the right market segment. This process is somehow little opposite to what we have done in segmentation. In segmentation, we have divided the market on the basis of variables and differences. While evaluating the market, we select one or two segments or maybe more than that, and we combine them on the basis of similarities in the variables. So, after getting those segments which are common in certain aspect, those are called variables, we check their feasibility or we evaluate them. In case of evaluation, first of all, we find out that the number of segments which the company is doing into the market, that is the parts in which the company is dividing the entire market, are neither too many nor too few. If there are going to be too many segments, in that condition the company needs to produce so many products, and then it will become not a very cost efficient process for the company, because company needs to produce too many products, needs to promote too many products, then it needs to contact also too many segments of customers. So, that way this will become like too many of products into the market by the same company. So, that way the entire process will become expensive. So, it should not select too many segments, it should not do too many segmentations also, okay? And neither it should do too few. Reason being, if it is going to do segmentation in such a way where it has divided market in very few number of segments, in that condition these segments will be somehow heterogeneous in certain aspect, which is not in favor of the company, because the more heterogeneity is there within a segment itself, the difficult it will be for the company to produce a product which is going to be a choice or a universal choice for within this segment itself. Okay. So, that way maintaining homogeneity is very important. So, it should not segment the market into too many parts, and it should not segment the market into too few parts also in the wake of saving the resources. Now, next is these segments have to be identifiable. Identifiable means their identity has to be discrete, separate from each other. So, these, as I have told you in the previous point itself, that these segments have to be homogeneous in themselves, means within a segment the characteristics of its member should be as much common as possible, and as well as at the same time these segments should be heterogeneous from each other, similar within the segment and dissimilar in between or among the segments. This is called heterogeneity. So, identifiable, like if you are talking about one segment, you are talking about students, then it is a group of students. If you are talking about family, then it is a family. It should not be such that family with the students in them or family with it should not be such wherein you are doing too much of mixing of variables. So, homogeneous within itself and different in between. Now, next is that the segment should be large enough with the potential to grow. This is very important. If the segment is not large enough and still the company is trying to cater to this market, then in that condition, the profitability of the net profitability of the entire segment will not be a good one, because too many units of the product cannot be produced and sold. So, that way this segment size will not be an attraction for the company. So, company should not target such segment, and then there should be a potential to grow. Let us say if today their company is expecting that it can sell up to, let us say, 10,000 units of the product, 10,000 10,000 room nights to a certain particular market segment, then in that condition tomorrow there should be a chance of at least 5 to 10% growth of that particular market segment. So, that way company should check that actually that segment in current scenario is a sizable in terms of making profit, and as well as at the same time it has a potential to grow also. Future is going to be the better than the present in terms of number of units, first criteria, and second, if the more number of units cannot be sold, then at least in terms of profitability, by selling the same number of units, at least the profit can be increased, the more profit can be made by selling the same number of units. So, growth can be in terms of number of units sold, as well as at the same time net profit made by selling the similar number of unit, if there is no chance of getting higher number to be sold. So, in third point, the segment should be structurally attractive. What does this mean? What is the meaning of structure? Structure means the structure of that particular market segment. Market structure means how many number of players are there. Number of players means the companies which are already selling the products. So, how many number of companies are already in their particular market segment selling similar kind of products, that somewhere determines the level of competition. Then number of players also mean if there is, let us say, not much competition, then how many number of suppliers are there. Let us say the competition level is very down, but as well as at the same time the suppliers are also very limited. In that condition, if the company tries to target this market, the inventory will become expensive. Let us say there are very few flights, and still the company is trying to come up with a product for that particular destination, then in that condition certainly the product will become expensive, because the cost of product will go down. So, number of players include the suppliers as well as the companies which are already in the market and selling similar products. Then number 2 is types or range of product. Is there any way in which it is not just 1 or 2 products which can be made for that particular market segment, but there can be more products range, maybe a product on FIT, a product on GIT, a product on 3-star property, another one product on 4-star and 5-star property, one product maybe for, let us say, 5 nights 6 days, another product maybe for 9 nights 10 days. So, range, if the company can produce the product for that particular market segment with a good range, that way the chances of making better money by catering to that single segment is higher. Because if something happens to one particular type of product, then at least there are other products existing, because the range is wide. So, the other products will be existing in the market. So, that way the net profitability, the feasibility, the longevity of that particular segment goes higher. Okay. Now, next is customer acquisition cost against the profitability matrix. It means what is the cost which company needs to incur in order to make money from the market. What is the cost which company incurs? Company incurs resources, company incurs promotion, company incurs cost in terms of distribution. So, all these costs combined together come under customer acquisition cost. Now, against this customer acquisition cost, what are the profitability metrics talking about? Means after certain level of expenditure, how much money is actually company making? So, it is like return on investment kind of a thing. If we look at this cost as investment, then what is the return which company is going to make? So, that makes a lot of difference here. The next is government regulations, whether government is allowing or not allowing. Let us say, we talk about the company is trying to come up with a product for international borders. Now, what are the time during which these international borders are open? or maybe the company is trying to come up with a product for international border between two countries, which is very sensitive. So, what are the chances of actually operating a product over there? It is not just about making the product, it is also about what are the chances of conducting, probability of conducting this particular. So, if the probability is down because of government regulations, then irrespective of whatever the market might be thinking to go to that place, this segment is structurally no more remain attractive to that company. Okay. Now, next is healthy and optimum competition. Too much competition is not good. Okay. Too much reactivity in the market is also not good. One company is coming up with an advertisement, immediately the opposition, that's competition also coming up with another advertisement, then company has to counter that particular advertisement, then again this company comes up with advertisement. So, all these advertisements and counter and contra counter, these all things are expensive process. So, by this way you see that the entire cost in gaining the attention of the customer goes very high. So, here structural attractiveness, I have given you couple of points here, like how many number of players are there, whether the range of the product will be sustainable or not, what is the customer acquisition cost, and against that what are the chances of making profit, and then what are the government regulations for that particular market, then what is the level of competition, whether it is healthy or it is too reactive, too competitive, too many players can enter into and exit. So, that way it becomes very unpredictable for the market. See, predictability in the market is always something which is welcomed by the players and companies in the market. So, that way all these things constitute together as the segment structural attractiveness. Now, next is opportunity analysis. Company always analyzes the opportunity not just in terms of what is existing in the macro environment or the outside economy. It also checks its own strength towards that particular market. So, company's objective, what are the objective of the company? Let us say company is into a field of catering to leisure market, and now company is trying to come up with a very average kind of maybe 1-star or very basic 2-star category hotel, then this will not go in favor of the company. Okay, company has to think about this thing, that if it wants to cater into that market, then in that condition company has to change its objectives. Changing objective in terms of catering to more market segments if it wants to. Otherwise, if it wants to just confine itself as a high-end luxury company, then in that condition it is trying to enter, not at all advisable. So, company's objective. Next is resources, especially financial and human capital. What are the financial resources? See, I told you this thing in the starting itself, that the more segmentation we do, the more money the company needs to invest in making product for every segment separately, which requires a very high financial resources, a good financial stamina of the company is needed, as well as at the same time it requires expertise in terms of human capital also. So, if you do not have those kind of human resource, that is your own employees who can do research and come up with that kind of product, then do testing of that product, then sell that product to the right segment, then providing them the kind of services which the company has promised to that segment, then in that condition it is not advisable to enter into that market. So, it is not just about financial strength of the company, it is also about what is the human capital which is already available with the company, or which can be developed to that level by giving them certain kind of trainings, or maybe by human resource acquisition, that is hiring process. But whatever the company decides, it needs to have that kind of financial and human strength to deal with that market segment. Now, next is previous presence, whether the company has ever sold that kind of a product, whether the company has been catering to that kind of market segment, if not with the product which it is planning to come up with some other product, maybe if not the USA product, then maybe with Australia product. Both of these, if you go to 5-star category hotel, are high-end products. So that if you are taking the purchasing power of your this segment as a basis for doing this segmentation, then the same segment will go to Australia in 5-star category as well as the USA in 5-star category. So previous presence may be in case of the USA, but now the company is planning to come up with Australia. So that's what these company has to justify and has to ensure that whether it has ever catered to this kind of a segment earlier. Then purchasing power of the buyers, it needs to assess the purchasing power of the buyers very clearly, because it is not about having a fascination to enter into certain segment with a very attractive product, but actually the purchasing power of buyers is something which is not as per the demand of the price of the product. So here in opportunity analysis, company needs to basically check, it's like a reality check for the company itself to find out whether it should actually try to grab this opportunity or let it go. Okay. Now next is optimum portfolio or product mix. Portfolio means a combination of all the products, which is also known as product mix. So any company, if it wants to be a sizable one with a good market presence, it should have a range of products which can cater to as many segments as possible, if not as many segments, then at least to 5-7 types of segments. So with this only, the portfolio of the company, that is the product mix of the company, becomes robust enough to survive in the long run and also to absorb the setbacks which may come in any of the segment in the market by making profit in other segments. So like I can give you an example of this, ITHC. Okay. When we talk about ITHC, it has a range of products in different market like Taj, high-end luxury hotels, SeleQtions, little below that, then Gateways, next Vivanta and Ginger. Both till now all the hotels were in high-end luxury, 4-star and 5-star. Then Vivanta and Ginger, 3-star, means it has entered into a budget category hotel. Then TajSATS serve to different corporate and airlines by giving F&B services. Okay. So all these are owned by ITHC. Okay. But when we look at it, the range of product is such wherein all these brands combining together, making a very strong robust portfolio in terms of survival, okay, in terms of financial feasibility in the long run. Now next, what company needs to check is the level of competition. Can the company offer a product which is either unique or economical or better quality? Means the competition is already existing. Initially, I told you in structural attractiveness, the number of players. Now, finding out one such market segment wherein the level of competition is low or maybe negligible nowadays, it's a very difficult process. It's a very, very difficult. I mean, more or less we can say it's almost impossible. So, when we talk about level of competition, means we have accepted as a company that the competition is already existing. Okay. Now, the thing is, can the company, while targeting this particular segment, come up with a product which is either unique, okay, in maybe the other players are already existing, other companies already is existing with their own product, but here the company has come up with its own unique product, and if it is not unique, similar product, then maybe they can make it economical, so price wise it has gone down. So the quality has, either they have come up with a unique product or they have come up with a similar product, but at a economical price, lower price, or if not lower price, then better quality. So that way, if we see, something has to be there which is making the product, which is to grab the attention of the market. Next topic which we are going to discuss is targeting. A target market consists of a set of buyers who share common needs and characteristics that the company decides to serve. So, a set of buyers which have some common needs or characteristics, that is why making them homogeneous, and then company decides to serve them. Educational tours, medical conferences, high-end leisure outbound tours, only domestic market, all these customers have, or these segments have some kind of common characteristics, and all buyers which are going to be a part of these different segments will become a target for the company which selects this particular segment. So, market segmentation, it actually reveals about a company's market segment opportunities. Means out of all these segments, whichever segment the company has decided to target, that becomes an opportunity for the company. So, targeting is a very thoughtful process, and company should only try to target that segment which is attractive enough in terms of sustainability, in terms of making money, in terms of the resources of the company also. And after selecting the target, the company needs to approach this segment with the right market mix. Market mix means all 7 P's which I have told you. So, companies should select that particular segment which is attractive, then should make the right marketing mix to target that particular attractive segment. Now, company has to evaluate various segment, and then company needs to decide that how many targets, how many segments it wants to target. So, there is no such thing that company needs to select only 1 or 2. Company can, if like all those companies which are big companies, they generally, I gave you just now example of ITHC, they keep on targeting multiple segments. So, there is no such thing that company needs to select just a few. Company can select maybe 5 to 10 segments also, but company on the basis of its resources should decide that how many it wants to and which are those which it wants to target after selecting. Now, what are the strategies which companies follow while doing targeting? Number 1 is undifferentiated market. Name itself is suggesting no differentiation in the market. No differentiation means no segment. It means that the entire market has become a segment in itself, just one segment, and that segment is the entire market. So, here the company actually does not do segmenting, it ignores all the differences which are existing in the market and then focuses on the similarity. Okay. Like if you talk about in case of small companies which are into FIT, okay, they simply do not do this differentiation of the market or this segmentation in the market. They consider each and every segment to be, each and every individual or each and every market opportunity to be the same, and whoever comes to them, they take that particular customer as a lead and then make a product as per their need. If they cannot make a product, they simply take the product from some other company and sell them. So, here either the company is a small one, or the reason could be that company is large enough, having its own resources to cater to all the members of the that particular segment. So, it can be any reason, but here actually there is no segmentation in the market, and marketing plan is about reaching to as many buyers as they can, and this is only possible by doing mass distribution, okay, mass advertising. So, they simply distribute, I mean if you talk about the sales philosophy which I told you in the starting, that is what actually tries to do here. Then I told you about production concept. So, production philosophy, sales philosophy, all these things are applied, all these philosophies are applied here in this kind of undifferentiated marketing philosophy, and then they do mass production, mass distribution, mass advertising. Okay. Now, the only thing is that the benefit which the company gets, that company has a very narrow product line. Why? Because it has not done segmentation. So, it has not produced many products. Whatever products it has been producing, it is selling those products to the market. So, it is a very simple thing. They have a very narrow product line, not many products. Okay. So, they get cost economies, means economy of production, economy of purchasing, economy of selling, economy in servicing, economy in market reach. So, they get this, on this continuum, they get this economies of scale, as a result of which their per unit cost of producing, selling, distributing advertisements goes down. So, they can actually sell their product at comparatively lower prices with respect to what those companies do, which do segmentation and then come up with that kind of a product. Okay. Now, small companies find it difficult because of heavy competition. Now, I gave you in this first example that it ignores differences in that first one example, that it can be done by small companies, and there itself I told you that maybe there is a company which is not having the resources. So, if the company is not having the resources, then in that condition company can acquire the product from other companies and sell it and then make commission. So, small companies cannot afford to do market undifferentiated marketing, but it can acquire product and make money, but big companies can obviously do, because heavy competition is there. So, in that condition it becomes not so feasible or not so profitable for small companies. Now, larger segments may become less profitable because of heavy advertising cost, because I told you mass advertising. So, these larger segments sometimes become less profitable, and including the possibility of price cutting and price war is also difficult, because there are too many players which are there in the market. Now, let me give you example of religious tour market. Religious tour market, of irrespective of whichever faith you talk about, are a primarily undifferentiated market. Okay. People who come for religious tour do not go with too many demands, because their thought process during that time is very different. So, religious tour market is one such market which is undifferentiated market. Undifferentiated market, no segmentation, entire market will be dealt as one single segment, considering to be homogeneous and ignoring the differences. Small companies, they may do, if they take up whoever is coming as a lead, and after that either making a product for themselves. If they cannot make product for them, then in that condition they can acquire the product from other larger companies and make profit by selling those products. Larger companies can afford to, but we have to understand here this thing, that mass distribution, mass advertising, especially advertising if I talk about, there has to be heavy advertising, because too many players are existing in this market. All those companies which cannot do STP, they all go ahead with this kind of a thing. So, that condition, the cost of promotion goes very high, okay, but then the cost of production goes down, okay, cost of advertisement goes high, and example for this is religious tours market. Now, next is bifurcated market. Bifurcated means in two division, in two parts. So, especially in undeveloped countries if we talk about, because in undeveloped countries if we take income as one of the variable for dividing the market, then there is no middle class which is existing there. It is either high end users or there is lower class. So, the entire market can be divided into two categories: high end users, lower class. Obviously, tourism being from luxury industry, low end class will not be, lower class will be ignored. So, in that condition high end users will be targeted. Now, next is differentiated market, not in just one or two part, but in different segments. So, in this condition target several market segment and design separate offer for each. This is differentiated market is one such a strategy which all companies should follow. It is the best way to serving to the market, to retaining the market in the long duration, and also to have a robust product portfolio also. Now, more total sales than undifferentiated market. Why? Because here you were catering the entire market, I mean in undifferentiated marketing, you were catering the entire market as to be one segment, but it is not true. When we talk about one segment and the members of that segment, they are largely heterogeneous in nature. So, when they are heterogeneous in nature, then in that condition the company will not be able to serve them efficiently. So, sale is not higher. Okay, though mass marketing is there, mass distribution is there, total cost of producing the product has gone down, but still since the market is not differentiated efficiently, so total sale is not so good. In that condition, when we do differentiated marketing, then we can serve to customers in a better way, because we are catering to them as per their requirement, making the product as per their requirement. So, more sale is there. Though, see, we have to remember here, undifferentiated market segment is larger, if still the sale was down, and differentiated market, you are serving to a segment of that entire market, to just one segment, ignoring rest of the segments, but still doing more sale. Why? Because now you can serve to your customers in a better way. Reason being, you have produced the product as per their requirement and not what you can produce, okay, what the company can produce. Now, Europe and USA tours market is one such segment which is highly differentiated in terms of number of days. You go to Europe, you will find a tour right from 5 nights, 6 days in a single country to maybe 19, 9, 20 days, 25 nights, 26 days in 9 to 11 countries with 3-star properties, 5-star properties, 4-star personal vehicle or a shared coach in Eurail, n number of types of products which are available in Europe market, similarly in USA market, with cruises, without cruises. So, that way Europe and USA markets are highly differentiated market. Okay. Now, next is concentrated marketing. Concentrated marketing is usually done by smaller companies. Those companies which do not have a robust financial resources available with them. So, what do? They do not segment the market. They simply check what is available with them, and then on the basis of the database which is available to them, contacts which are available to them, they make a product which can cater to that market. So, let us talk about Parsi tours, Jain tours. If you talk about population of Parsis and Jains in India, both of these communities are in minority communities. Very few number of individuals are here. The size of the population is very low, but both these communities are rich communities. So, if there is anyone, any individual which has opened a new travel agency or tour operator and which has a good contact with Parsis and Jains, then in that condition it can ignore rest of the market and just go ahead with this Parsi and Jain communities and make a product as per their requirement. When we talk about eating habits of Parsis, places where they want to visit, eating habits of Jains, places where they want to visit, these are very unique, and when we talk about presence of this kind of a product in the market, very rare. So, anybody who would concentrate on these two minorities, ignoring rest of the larger population, can make very good profit just by catering to this very small segment. So, this is called concentrated marketing, means you have ignored rest of the market, just picked up a small chunk of small segment and made product only for that, but that market is such wherein nobody else can enter. It is like not everybody is having contacts with Parsis and Jains. So, chances of making money is very high. Now, after selecting a market and targeting the market, next step which company does is choosing a market coverage strategy, means how the company is planning to serve to that particular market. Now, company decides a market coverage strategy on the basis of the resources which are available to them. Resources may be its own employees, resources are vendors, means the distribution chain, sales agents, resources are suppliers, resources are also IT structure of the company, information and information technology structure of the company. So, on the basis of resources, companies decide a coverage strategy, how they plan to serve that particular segment. Now, it is not like that whatever is available, company goes by that. Company also can provide training or hire or develop a new altogether new sales network to cater to that particular segment. But yes, they take its resources as one of the major criteria while deciding. Now, next is degree of product homogeneity. To what extent that market can be served by similar kind of product. Similar kind of product means, let us say, products to the USA. Now, whether you talk about 3-star category or you talk about 5-star category hotels which are being used in tours, or you talk about maybe East Coast, or you talk about West Coast, or you talk about a combination of both East Coast and West Coast, or you take East Coast with cruise, East Coast with cruise, or West Coast with cruise, or East Coast, West Coast with cruise. I am giving you real life examples, So, you can take any of these products, but one thing is common, and that commonality is that the tour has to go to the USA. So, the airline, outbound airline, inbound airline, the regulations, okay, time difference, visa formalities, all these things are going to be the same. And that is what this is talking about, that while catering to that market, products cannot be very much dissimilar. To certain extent, products have to be same, so that commonality factor can be taken an advantage, and by developing one kind of resource, either in terms of airline contracting or maybe contracting with cruise line, similar products can be produced for that particular market segment. Now, next is product life cycle stage. Product life cycle stage means how many products are actually there with the company which are on the verge of either decline, okay, or maybe mature. That is what company needs. Companies always develop that product mix in which couple of the products are at the development stage, research and development. Okay. Couple of the product are at the launch stage, couple of the product are at the saturation, couple of the product are at the decline, couple of the products are at the second life cycle phase. So, this gives the entire portfolio, product portfolio in such a way wherein if by chance somehow one product goes off from the market, then there is another product which was at the development phase which can be launched, and then the entire product line can be maintained properly. It is not like that if let us say there were 15 similar products existing, then after maybe 2 years there are 13 products. No. If 2 products are taken off from the market, then 2 products which were there at the development phase can be launched. So, altogether in market, that image of the company by having good number of products remains the same. Okay. That kind of ego boost companies need. So, product life cycle also makes a difference. Now, next is market homogeneity. To what extent people, the members of that particular segment are same, they should not be dissimilar. Like you talk about the USA, more or less these will be the same. Maybe these are the people who want to visit the USA, these are the people who have relatives in the USA, these are the people who might be having some kind of business interest in the USA. So, some kind of market homogeneity is required, or maybe these are the, if it is not on the basis of destination, people who can be catered with the help of ICT, information and communication technology, online sale. Okay. So, different market, the USA, Europe, Australia, I mean different destination product, but sales through online. So, that common factor market homogeneity has become online. So, online presence of your customers is important. So, some kind of market homogeneity has to be there. Now, next is to large extent competition based. I mean, whatever may be the level of competition, but let me tell you, companies always decide their market coverage strategy on the basis of what is the level of competition which is existing. Companies never want a very reactive market. They want comparatively stable, predictable, good size, profitability, growing market, and these characteristics are like must for companies to cater to that market. So, to a certain extent, they, before entering into a particular segment or while continuing into a particular segment, they see what their competition has been doing, and on the basis of that they decide their own market coverage strategy. So, with this we have completed targeting. At the end of this, I have provided you with a list of 5 books. You can refer to either of these books or any other books of your choice for getting further information on this topic. Thank you.